This is the OTB Network.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses, brought to you by Parting Glass Racing. I'm Jean Wood. We've had a busy week of racing action here at Saratoga, but before we get to that, we'll start with out-of-town racing action heading down to New Jersey for Saturday's co-featured Select Stakes for 3-year-old sprinters.
Racing in the Select Stakes, Cobra Strike took a bad stumble coming out of there and is last early. It is Indy Joe to the front. MJ's Enchanteur, these two speed out for the lead. Rough Road Ahead came away running in third. Carson's Legacy is fourth to the outside. Then Fujita and Cobra Strike, who went to his knees at the start, is racing 6 lengths off the lead at the half-mile pole. 22 flat was the first quarter. MJ's Enchanteur on top. Indy Joe a half length behind. Rough Road Ahead tracks them third. And it's Carson's Legacy to the outside. 2 lengths back to Fujita and Cobra Strike. MJ's Enchanteur still a neck in front of Indy Joe as they round the far turn. Carson's Legacy outside of Rough Road Ahead. Cobra Strike and Fujita. 44 and 3 the half mile. MJ's Enchanteur the leader. Indy Joe to the outside. Fujita off the rail trying to come and get them, and here he comes. MJ's Enchanteur in front. Fujita closing on the outside. MJ's Enchanteur holding on though, and Fujita will not get him. MJ's Enchanteur in the Select from Fujita, then Indy Joe third.
MJ's Enchanteur picking up a 9-1 upset victory here on the front end with a nice effort, got to the lead fairly easily, had to fight off the eventual third place finisher Indy Joe, but once he put that one away, he was able to have plenty clear to hold sway by 3/4 of a length over the late moving Fujita. Indy Joe hanging on to third. MJ's Enchanteur is a dark bay or brown gelded son of Metfield from Enchanted Acorn by Crafty Prospector. Bred in Florida by Briarwood Farm and owned by Ben Mondello and Adam Russo. Trained by Scott Lake and ridden to victory by Eddie Castro. MJ's Enchanteur covers the 6 furlongs on a fast track in 109.26. We'll continue with stakes racing action in New Jersey with the Grade 3 Monmouth Breeders' Cup Oaks for 3-year-old fillies.
Racing in the Monmouth Oaks. And it's Marin's Meadow on the outside out for the lead. Whirly Birdie is away running in second. After that, it's Akamo's taken off the pace after a slight stumble at the start. African Violet's right alongside of her, and Philly Gal is last as Marin's Meadow leads the way around the first turn. Whirly Birdie is second, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Akama third inside of African Violet, and Philly Gal is 7 lengths off of front-running Marin's Meadow. The first quarter, 23 and 2. Marin's Meadow and Terry Thompson out on a 3-length lead here. Calvin Burrell has Whirly Birdie sitting in second position. 1.5 lengths to African Violet outside of Akama, who's on the rail in fourth, 5.5 lengths off the lead, and it's another 3.5 to Philly Gal. Marin's Meadow's been in front all the way so far, ran a 46 and 3 half mile and passes the half mile pole, 2.5 in front of Whirly Birdie. African Violet is next, Akama fourth, and Philly Gal is the trailer. 6 lengths off the lead as they round the far turn. Marin's Meadow still on top. Leads by 1.5 lengths now. Whirly Birdie second, African Violet edging up closer on the far outside. Akama is fourth along the rail and now being pushed along, and Philly Gal trails. 3/4 in 1:11 and 3. They're into the stretch, and Marin's Meadow continues to lead the way. And now it's a 3-length lead at the 8th pole. And now Marin's Meadow is 4 in front as Akama has moved into second, and then it is Whirly Birdie and African Violet. But with 70 yards to run, it's Marin's Meadow on her way to victory in the Monmouth Oaks. Going all the way over Akama, then Whirly Birdie third.
Another upset here at 11-1. It was Marin's Meadow. Earlier in the season, she was known as the slightly lesser second filly behind Proud Spell in Larry Jones's barn, but she had run some very good races as a 2-year-old. Was a little bit overlooked in the wagering here, but showed good early speed, as we've seen, holding nicely at Monmouth Park. Acoma running to second after starting out in the 3rd spot. She made up a little bit of ground. She off of a nice performance 2 races back. Last time out, a little disappointing in the Coaching Club American Oaks, appearing to rebound nicely. Whirly Birdie completes the order of the top 3 as the favorite after tracking the early pace setter. The winner, Marin's Meadow, is a 3-year-old bay daughter of Meadow Lake from Gold Liaka by Yukon, bred in Ontario by Josham Farms Limited and owned by the River Ridge Ranch. Trained by Larry Jones and ridden to victory by Terry Thompson. Marin's Meadow picks up the Grade 3 victory, covering the mile in a 16th at Monmouth in 1:44.05. We'll continue with stakes racing out of town now by heading to Ellis Park in Kentucky. On Saturday afternoon, they ran the Governor's Handicap for older horses at a mile.
As they turn onto the backstretch, it's Longley who leads by a half a length. Jonesboro applying the pressure in second, and Jonesboro challenging for the lead. Officer Rocket from 5th up into 3rd. Sandburr behind horses 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. It's all about the chase in 5th in the clear, about 4 off the lead, and then a gap of 6 lengths to Save Big Money, who's now 2 in front of Delightful Kiss. First quarter mile, 23 3/5 as they reach the far turn. Longley, Jonesboro, Officer Rocket, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Sandburr still stalking in 4th. It's all about the chase outside in 5th and 4 lengths off the lead. A space of 4 lengths to Save Big Money, and Delightful Kiss trails. The half was in 46 3/5, and Jonesboro makes his move on the outside. Longley fully extended with 5/16 to go. Officer Rocket waiting in the wings, outside in 3rd. It's Sandburr 4th. It's all about the chase in 5th. Delightful Kiss commencing a rally by going 5 or 6 wide, and Save Big Money towards the inside. They're in upper stretch. It's Jonesboro who scampers clear by a length and a half. Officer Rocket is in second. Longley fading a little bit in 3rd. Save Big Money from the back of the pack. 16th of a mile to go. It's Jonesboro strong on the lead, and Jonesboro too good in the Governor's Handicap. Save Big Money second, Officer Rocket 3rd, and Longley was 4th.
Jonesboro picking up the victory. This is a horse that normally does get to the lead at the beginning of his races. Here he sat just off of the fast Longley. Early going, he was second, picked up by the top of the stretch to win by 3 1/4 lengths over Save Big Money. Officer Rocket, horse that we've seen here in Saratoga in the earlier part of his career, completing the order of the top 3. Jonesboro, with that familiar pedigree, a son of Cifapiano from the Great Mom's Command by Top Command, was bred in Kentucky by the JFB stable and is owned by Michael Langford. Trained by Randy Morris and ridden to victory by Tracy A. Bear. Jonesboro covers the mile at Ellis Park in 1:35.86. We'll continue now with out-of-town stakes racing action at Arlington Park Saturday afternoon. A terrific day for Arlington Million Day. A trio of Grade 1s beginning with the Secretariat for 3-year-olds.
And they're off in the Secretariat Stakes. 'Tis Deja Vu going to the front just like that. 'Tis Deja Vu going out to lead. Plan Winchester. Snooze Goose is up and on this early pace, along with the red cap of Senior Henry. Secret Getaway Standside with 1 circuit of Arlington to go. Year Round Prime Real Estate, and Straight to Musina has dropped back to 9th. 'Tis Deja Vu fractionally in front of Senior Henry, and Secret Getaway is right there close up in 3rd. Plan is in between horses. At the rail is Winchester as they make their way into this first turn. Snooze Goose is also in it amongst the front ranks from Year Round. Prime Real Estate is 1 from the back, and Straight Musina trails. 'Tis Deja Vu's opening quarter on this good turf was 25 1/5 seconds. 'Tis Deja Vu at the head of affairs in front of Senior Henry and Secret Getaway. Winchester right there at the rail. Johnny Murtaugh and Plan. 4 lengths off this leader, 'tis Deja Vu. Then Snooze Goose. Year Round covers Prime Real Estate, and Straight Musina is still last. They continue their backstretch run. 'Tis Deja Vu continues to dictate his own terms to Senior Henry with only soft coverage through a half mile in 49 3. Now 4 furlongs to go in the Secretariat Stakes. Tis Deja Vu has led for all of the first half. Senior Henry, Secret Getaway 3 wide. Winchester ground saving both turns. Plan is being asked to quicken. Plan now comes under a Johnny Murtaugh ride. Snooze Goose is outside that, coming toward the quarter pole. Prime Real Estate, your round is being ridden with no gain yet, and straight to Messina has trailed. Tis Deja Vu now being readily opposed by Winchester. These two as they turn for home in the Secretariat Stakes, and Winchester has forged in front. They're in the final furlong and a half. Winchester slipping away from Tis Deja Vu. Plan is third. Prime Real Estate is 1 pace. Then your round coming up toward the wire. Here's Winchester. Renee Douglas for Dermot Weld in the Secretariat Stakes. Winchester easily by a half dozen lengths from Plan. Tis Deja Vu was third from Prime Real Estate straight to Messina, and your round. Snooze Goose, Secret Getaway, and Senior Henry was last.
And as is often the case, it was Irish Invader Dermot Weld picking up the Secretariat. He has done so well in this Arlington series over the course of the last decade or so, and here it was Winchester with a strong 7 1/4 length victory. This guy sat just off the early pace, rated kindly for Renee Douglas, and simply exploded through the lane at the expense of Plan, who finished a solid second, about 2.5 lengths in front of Tis Deja Vu, the even money favorite, who had set the easy pace in this race. Now, this is a horse that moved onto the turf. It really looked like a very strong turfer, but as we've often seen with the European shippers, Winchester and Dermot Weld simply dominating the American field. Winchester is a 3-year-old bay colt, a son of Theatrical from Rum Charger by Spectrum, bred in Virginia by Mr. and Mrs. Bertram R. Firestone, owned by the Firestones. Good to see their green and white colors back in the winner's circle, and Grade 1 company in the United States. Trained by Dermot Weld and ridden to victory by Renee Douglas, Winchester covers the 1 1/4 on the firm turf course at Arlington, 2:01.76. We'll head right back to Chicago now in the Grade 1 Beverly D for fillies.
Here we go. They're off, racing in the Beverly D. Dreaming of Vanna breaks sharp from those rails. Rosinka taken back, and Precious Kitten is the closest one to Dreaming of Vanna, who's afforded the lead. Cicero comes up on the outside now to grab fourth. Morlicana also in the front ranks. Then Toque de Queda, Chow, Maribel, and Communique has dropped back to ninth. They make their way into this clubhouse turn. Garrett Gomez in the leading role with Dreaming of Vanna into the first turn. Dreaming of Vanna leads Precious Kitten, who's close in tow as they enter that clubhouse turn. Rosinka right there at the fence. Morlicana's a close fourth. Toque de Queda held at heels in fifth. Outside that is the French-bred Cicero, who's 5 to 6 lengths off this solo leader, Dreaming of Vanna, who cruises through a quarter in 24 1. Farther back is Chow, Maribel, and a ground-saving Communique still last. So Dreaming of Vanna continues to shoulder the load in the Beverly D, with Precious Kitten spying her speed. Rosinka under keen restraint, red cap at the fence. Morlicana is a close fourth. Toque de Queda fifth now with 4 furlongs to go. Cicero is next. Chow is 7 lengths off the pace, being set by Dreaming of Vanna, followed then by a wide Maribel, and Communique is still last. 3/4 for Dreaming of Vanna, 1:12 3. They go to the far side of the Arlington course. Dreaming of Vanna has made every yard. Precious Kitten second with every chance as they come toward the quarter pole. Morlicana and Rosinka, Cicero, Toque de Queda, Chow, Communique slaloms on through, and Maribel. Dreaming of Vanna turns them in. Dreaming of Vanna tackled by Precious Kitten, and Morlicana now being produced as they come down to this final furlong. Precious Kitten battles between horses. Morlicana just strikes the top. Dreaming of Vanna's under pressure. Toque de Queda, a stand-side charge, and Communique up toward the wire. Kenta Sormo and Morlicana. Morlicana has won the Beverly D. Communique was second. Toque de Queda finished third. It is a photo for fourth.
Morlicana has really moved from strength to strength this year, coming out of New York and picking up the Grade 1 victory here by a 1 1/4 over Communique, who had run both in the United States and in New York, rather, and in Florida and Kentucky. This filly has been all over the place and run very well, finishing in the third spot. Long shot, Toque de Queda, who ran very well from off the pace after having steadied a couple of times during the running. She looked like one that throughout looked like if she was able to get clear would be very dangerous despite her long odds. Little disappointing in the field was the favorite Precious Kitten. She tracked the early pacemaker Dreaming Havana, but had nothing when the real running was done. Maura Lacana moves herself up towards the head of the class in the fillier mare division on turf with a very strong run under Kent Desormeaux. The winner, Maura Lacana, a bay mare, a daughter of Mutathir from Gymkhana by Double Bed, was bred in France by SARL Classic Breeding and M. Hassan, owned by Robert Scarborough, trained by Chris Clement and ridden to victory by Kent Desormeaux. Maura Lacana covers the mile and 3/16 on the firm turf in 1:55.18. Next up, the Grade 1 mile and a quarter Arlington Million.
And they're off in the 26th Arlington Million, and Einstein broke poorly. Archipenko breaks well, along with the French Raider Spirit One going out toward the front. Mount Nelson is up and on this early gallop, and in between horses, Stream Cat's taken under keen restraint right at Spirit One's heels as they come past the stands. Silverfoot has been worked over to a great ground-saving spot there by Renee Douglas. 8 lengths off this leader, Spirit One, followed by Einstein, and Cloudy's Night is dropped back to 7th. The opening quarter for the French Raider Spirit One, 24-3 as they make their way into the first turn. It's Spirit One who dictates turns to Archipenko, and Mount Nelson is close with Stream Cat next in 4th. Detached from the main body, Silverfoot, Einstein is some 12 lengths adrift, and Cloudy's Night is a long ways off as they make their way toward this backstretch. Spirit One dictates terms to Mount Nelson, and Johnny Murtaugh has Mount Nelson right there in a position to pressure Spirit One for this backstretch. Kevin Shea and Archipenko settled 3rd. On the outside, Stream Cat is 4th by 5. Silverfoot, Einstein, and Cloudy's Night remains a remote 7th. Half mile in 48-2. They move past the half-mile pole. And Spirit One, 4 furlongs from Million Glory, with Mount Nelson still shadowing the leaders every move. Archipenko is close. In between horses, going into the far turn, is Stream Cat, and Einstein moving now for Robbie Alvarado. Then Silverfoot and Cloudy's Night a hard-ridden last as they come toward the quarter pole. Spirit One has made every yard. Mount Nelson right there. Einstein in between horses, Stream Cat, and Archipenko is close. They've turned the corner in the Million, and it's Spirit One who's made every yard. They're in the final furlong and a half. Eurexman Disabel working on Spirit One, who kept on. Archipenko's boxed. Archipenko trying to get off those rails, shoulder to shoulder with Mount Nelson as the winning line looms. Silverfoot's coming late. It's Spirit One, the French Raider. Spirit One for France. Spirit One has won it from Archipenko. 3rd was close between Mount Nelson and Silverfoot, and Einstein was 5th.
On the front end, it was Spirit One, a French invader, picking up the win, holding on by 3/4 of a length over the late charge of Archipenko, the favorite in the field, who perhaps came under a little bit of a race ride by a number of the other riders looking at that heavy favorite and figuring that they had to find a way to beat him. Mount Nelson completes the order of the top 3. French invader Spirit One is a bay colt, a son of a Naba Blue from Lavassière, from Sikios, bred in France by Kamel and Benhoub, and is owned by the breeders, trained by Philippe de Mercastel, and ridden to victory by Oritz Mendizabal. Spirit One covers the mile and a quarter on that firm turf in 2:02.17. We'll pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading to Woodbine for stakes racing action, and then out to Southern California for more great racing from Del Mar. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We'll continue now in Canada, where last Monday their stakes feature was the Grade 2 Nijinsky on the turf.
They're at the post. They're off in the Nijinsky Stakes. Independent George, Strike a Deal is to the outside. Then French Beret, Rahi's Attorney gains ground to the outside of French Beret. Patrick Husbands angles Seaside Retreat over to the rail. Then we have Ghost Tower and Can't Beat It as they take that tight turn into the backstretch. And it's Independent George and Cornelio Velasquez. Rank second is Strike a Deal. Strike a Deal is fighting Jose Lascano as they move along this Woodbine backstretch. And it's Strike a Deal who just tugs Lascano to the front. Very rank on the front end, though. Independent George, the Grace to the inside. Seaside Retreat. Rahi's Attorneys to the outside. Just a length and a half off the lead. The opening quarter was 26-3. And it's Strike a Deal through a half mile in 50 2/5. Strike a Deal to the last turn. Independent George comes back on the inside, and those two are heads apart. Strike a Deal by a neck now. Independent George is second. Seaside Retreat is at the flank of Strike a Deal. Then we have Rahi's Attorney, who's close to the pace in fourth. Just a length and 3/4 off the pace setter. Break of 2 to French Beret. Ghost Tower saved every inch of ground. Trailing is Can't Beat It. They got 3/4 of a mile in 1:14. Inside the 3/8 pole now. And it's Strike a Deal. Seaside Retreat comes on to challenge. On the far outside is Rahi's Attorney. Independent George is down toward the inside. They're off the turn. They hit the quarter pole. Wide open, anyone's race. Seaside Retreat, Strike a Deal, Rahi's Attorney, and French Beret. Seaside Retreat's hanging just a bit. Trying to come back to the inside is Strike a Deal. Seaside Retreat holding on bravely at this stage. Strike a Deal on the inside, running out of ground. Seaside Retreat. It's Seaside Retreat to win the Nijinsky. Strike a Deal, second show photo. French Beret and Rahi's Attorney.
Woodbine's beautiful turf course, and here it is Seaside Retreat picking up the victory from just off the pace. He was close every step of the way, and here picks up the win over a familiar American shipper, Strike a Deal, who was the favorite at odds-on. French Beret rallies to finish third. The winner, Seaside Retreat, is a bay gelding, a son of King Cugat from She's Like Rio by Boundary. Bred in Kentucky by Centennial Farms and William S. Farish Jr., owned by Mr. Farish and trained by Mark Cassie. Ridden to victory by Patrick Husbands, Seaside Retreat covers the 1.25 miles in 2 minutes, .60. We'll head out to Southern California now for Del Mar's great racing action. We'll head back to last Wednesday's 2-year-old fillies in the Sorrento.
And away they go. Glitter City was very fast into stride. Amina from the outside gate shows speed. Cosmic Queen in the green colours. Dash Dot Dash, the white blinkers right there too. Emmy Darling, one from the rail, and Trifecta King. 5 of them all lining up out here. Then it's 4 lengths back to Evita Argentina. In behind that we have Stardom Bound, the grey, who's now 7 off the leaders. Another 4 back to Sylar Rules. And at the back is Malusita. They've run past the half-mile pole now, and it's Cosmic Queen just in front. Dash Dot Dash on the far side is right there, and Trifecta King tucked in third at the rail. On the far side, Evita Argentina starts to make ground. Emmy Darling is in there as well. Alongside of that is Glitter City. On the extreme outside, Amina's having to be ridden. Oh, checking severely here. Trifecta King just about pulled out the race. And let's see, Stardom Bound the grey. Now, Stardom Bound travelling nicely. She needs somewhere to run. Looks like she's going to have to hook to the extreme outside. At the top of the lane, wide open, Evita Argentina down the grandstand side. Glitter City's in there as well. Stardom Bound now chasing them home on the extreme outside. Down at the rail, Emmy Darling. Glitter City's drifted in but has the advantage. Evita Argentina. Evita Argentina's going to beat her. Evita Argentina wins. Close 3-way photo for second. Emmy Darling, Glitter City and Stardom Bound.
Evita Argentina picking up the victory at 7.5 to 1 from off the pace with a 5-wide rallying move. That Del Mar horse that once was known for such speed has been quite nice to horses rallying from off the pace on this year's edition of the synthetic surface. Stardom Bound, who received a lot of press coming into this race off of her impressive debut, completes the order of the exacta. Emmy Darling moved up into the 3rd spot on the disqualification of Glitter City, who had crossed the line in the 3rd spot. The winner, Evita Argentina, is a chestnut 2-year-old daughter of the Argentinian-bred Candy Ride from Jealous Wildcat by Forest Wildcat. Bred in Kentucky by Halo Farm and owned by Halo Farm and Three Sisters Thoroughbreds. Trained by John Sadler and ridden to victory by Tyler Bays. Evita Argentina covers the 6.5 furlongs in 1:17.51. We'll continue now with stakes racing action from Del Mar with the Real Good Deal Stakes for Cal-bred fillies.
And away they go. All came out well. On the far side, Lethal Heat and Young Joe away quickly. Cool Comic in the white cap is right there. Rain Gear, now Lethal Heat being taken back. Now here's Dancing in Silks in the green cups, very keen to go on, is pulling his way up to 3rd. Then we come back to One Chin again, 5 off the leaders, General Dan at the rail and Wafi is last. Past the 5/8 they go now, and it's Cool Comic on the inside and up alongside Young Joe. Just in behind them, Dancing in Silks is travelling nicely. Rain Gear on the far side, General Dan down at the rail, 4.5 off the leaders. Now here's Lethal Heat in the red cap, 3rd last. One Chin again, whips coming out on him now. He's making hard work of it at this stage. 4 back to Wafi. They run past the 3/8 pole and Young Joe on the outside. Cool Comic at the rail, then Rain Gear. Dancing in Silks just needs somewhere to go. Lethal Heat in the red cap, only 3 off the leaders. One Chin again, General Dan, and even Wafi's running on late. They bunched as they turn for home now. Young Joe goes on with it. Tackled now on the outside by Lethal Heat in the red cap. And Lethal Heat has swung out and coming gamely. One Chin again on the inside, Dancing in Silks. They come for home. Young Joe's all hot, but Lethal Heat has the class on the outside. Lethal Heat, Young Joe, Dancing in Silks. It's a thriller. It's going to be the filly Lethal Heat to win it. And Lethal Heat has beaten the boys. Young Joe was 2nd, Dancing in Silks 3rd, and Wafi finished 4th.
And this Cal-bred is the real deal. Lethal Heat, an extremely fast filly, scoring the half-a-length victory over Young Joe, with Dancing in Silks completing the order of the top 3 as the favorite. A little surprising to see anybody taken over Lethal Heat in this spot, but it did look like a very nice effort from this filly from off the pace. She has shown good speed in some of her races, rallied strongly in others. Lethal Heat is a bay filly, a daughter of Unusual Heat from Lethal Lita by Sinistry. Bred in California by David Abrams, Madeline Auerbach, and Tom Roberts. Owned by the breeders and trained by Barry Abrams. Ridden to victory by Garrett Gomez. Lethal Heat covers the 7 furlongs in 1:21.95. We'll continue now with stakes racing at California with Saturday's stakes features. 3-year-olds on the turf in the La Jolla.
And away they go. All appear to come out smoothly. Sky Cape is quick. Liberian Freighter from the outside. Zetterberg and the white blinkers goes up alongside of them. And here's Tangle Tango on the inside. Up alongside of that is Jungle Wave, who's pulling pretty hard. Tiz West had a bit of a rough time of it early. Is back 4 off the leaders. The pace is good early. Then we come back to Coronel Moldez. Moral Compass up alongside of that. Now is taken back 2nd last. And Medeo is last, 10 off the leader. They move past the 3/4 pole, and Liberian Freighter got his ears cocked, taken a nice hole, comfortable out here. Liberian Freighter by 3 to Sky Cape. Zetterberg on the far side and Tangle Tango in the red cap at the rail. They are being followed by Tiz West. Jungle Wave is now 6 off that leader. Moral Compass in the red cap making a bit of headway. Then comes Coronel Moldez. In behind that is Medeo, and last of all is Now with 12 to make up. A half-mile to go, and Liberian Freighter's pulled himself well clear now. Liberian Freighter kicking into the turn, and he's widening. Liberian Freighter by 6 into the turn now. Zetterberg on the far side. Sky Cape right there. Then Tangle Tango. Jungle Wave tries to make headway. Tiz West got some running to do. At the rail, Coronel Moldez. Then Now and Medeo. At the top of the lane now, Liberian Freighter only by 2 now. Sky Cape is right there. Tangled Tango in the red cap coming home gamely as well. Past the 8th pole they come now, and it's Sky Cape down the centre coming to get the lead. Liberian Freighter can find no more. Tangled Tango still in with a shot too, but it's Sky Cape. Sky Cape in full flight for the wire, and Sky Cape has won the La Jolla. Sky Cape by 2. Tangled Tango second, then Liberian Freighter, Medeo, and now.
Sky Cape picking up the victory, another one who has improved very nicely since moving onto the turf. This guy earlier in the season was moved onto this surface and has really moved from strength to strength, from restricted and now graded stakes foes. Tangled Tango picking up the second spot with a very nice effort after having been in between horses and a little bit tight early on. Liberian Freighter completes the top 3. The winner, Sky Cape, is a chestnut son of Najran from Skyscape by Market Tree. Bred in Kentucky by Kristen Mulhall and owned by Visionary Racing and Steve Taub. Trained by Kristen Mulhall and ridden to victory by Joel Rosario. Sky Cape covers the 1 1/16 on that firm turf in 140.92. We'll head right back to Del Mar now, and the Sunday Stakes feature 2-year-olds in the Best Pal.
And away they go to a perfect start. Turbo Call in the white cap, Charlie's Moment on the far side, and Coronet of a Baron in the white sleeves, very fast. SS Stone now pushing through down at the rail, and Miguel's Mascot won from the rail. They're lining up on the lead here. Few Peg He Rat is right behind the leading group, and then it's Kelly Leak, only 4 lengths off the leader, and 3 lengths further back to Azul Leon, has no early speed, is 7 off the lead. They run past the half-mile pole. SS Stone along the inside, up alongside Miguel's Mascot right there. Coronet of a Baron in the white sleeves. On the far side, Charlie's Moment, a close-up 4th. They followed by Foo Peg He Rat down at the rail. Now Kelly Leak going to go for a run in the green. Behind that comes Turbo Call. And let's see, Azul Leon now closing in. And Azul Leon is winding up from last, 6 off them. But Azul Leon closing in ominously now. They come to the top of the lane. Coronet of a Baron gets a narrow lead. On the inside, we have Miguel's Mascot. Down the centre comes Kelly Leak, and on the extreme outside, Azul Leon is now going to have to swing even wider. They come for home. Kelly Leak wide out in the track. Azul Leon chasing him, but Kelly Leak got first run. Azul Leon coming home late. Kelly Leak, Azul Leon. Kelly Leak, a nose to a very unlucky Azul Leon. Coronet of a Baron third, and then Charlie's Moment.
It was tight quarters with 3 horses down the stretch, and it was Kelly Leak getting the nose down in front, but there was in fact a disqualification as Azul Leon gets moved to the top spot with a 5-wide move. He split horses, was squeezed a little bit through the stretch, and ends up getting the official victory here. Kelly Leak moved down to 4th on the disqualification, moving Coronet of a Baron up to the 2nd spot with Charlie's Moment getting the official 3rd spot. The winner, Azul Leon, remains undefeated. He is a 2-year-old bay son of freshman stallion Lionheart from Quick Blue by Cure the Blues, bred in Kentucky by the Joseph Lacombe Stables and owned by the breeder, trained by Doug O'Neill and ridden to victory by Rafael Bejarano. Azul Leon covers the 6.5 furlongs in 116.73. We'll pause for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading home to Saratoga for a week's worth of stakes racing action. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We'll continue now here in Saratoga by going all the way back to last Monday's National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame Stakes for 3-year-olds on grass.
And they're off. And it's Willsboro Point who strikes out for the early lead. Thou Swell. And on the far outside, here's Field Sport. So bias for the first time, Thou Swell will vie for the lead with Willsboro Point. Field Sport backs off them and runs third on the outside. And then it's Adriano's got a good spot early on, running along in fourth. And then it's Piku, fifth on the outside, deal making at the back of the pack with Wesley. So into the first turn, a bit wide, there goes Willsboro Point. And that floated Field Sport out into the course. Thou Swell's the leader. Thou Swell on top. The opening quarter went in 24 seconds flat with Thou Swell leading the way into the backstretch run. Willsboro Point runs along in second, and Field Sport sitting chilly third by 3. Here's the favorite Adriano in fourth position as they continue their run up the backstretch. A moderate half mile of 49 1/5 seconds. So down the backstretch run, it is Thou Swell, followed by Willsboro Point, Field Sport, Adriano, Piku Deal Making, and Wesley at the back of the pack. Hard held as Wesley while covered up in behind horses. Into the far turn now. They have yet to come after Thou Swell. Thou Swell, the leader. Willsboro Point now has to pick it up a bit after 3 quarters at 1:14 3. Field Sport is third. Adriano still fourth. Here comes Piku. Here comes Wesley. The trailer at the top of the stretch is Deal Making, but it's wide open as the field turns for home. Top of the stretch. Willsboro Point and Thou Swell head-to-head for the lead. Field Sport is there. Adriano's toiling. On the outside is the gray Wesley. And nowhere to go for Deal Making. Here's the finish. And here's Wesley, who charges to the lead. Deal Making shakes loose late with Adriano on the wire. It was Wesley. Close for second, Thou Swell, or Deal Making and Adriano.
And it was Wesley getting the victory here from off the pace. In fact, a last-to-first move, a well-timed move by Javier Castellano. He moved onto the turf last time out. Now 2 for 2 on that surface. He picks up the victory at the expense of Thou Swell, who was one of the long shots in the field. Coming off of a maiden victory at Belmont Park only a couple of weeks ago, he holds on to a very good second-place finish. Deal Making, previously undefeated, rallies to third. The winner, Wesley, is a 3-year-old gray son of El Prado from Moving Picture by Ali Sheba. Bred in Kentucky by Domino Stud of Lexington Incorporated and owned by Wilmot Stable, trained by Mark Hennig and ridden to victory by Javier Castellano. Wesley covers the mile and a furlong on the firm turf course in 150.22. We'll stay here in Saratoga, head into Wednesday's card in the New York Stallion Series Cab Calloway division for Colts and Geldings.
And they're off. Cannonball broken his toes, and Key Victory there on the inside. Key Victory assumes the early initiative here. Not a lot of initiative from the others. So Key Victory will be the pacemaker into the turn. Cannonball up close, in hand, second. And Let's Go Venture third, just on the outside of Dock and Roll. A break of 3 back to Brookhaven's Money, another 3 back to Express to the West, and another 3 to Phobia trailing the field. Around the clubhouse turn, and it's Key Victory the leader, as Cannonball is now second on the outside. Dock and Roll third, a tepid opening quarter of 24 2/5 seconds. Gold Vendetta well in hand while racing fourth on the outside. And a gap of 2.5 lengths back to Brookhaven's Money. Express to the West now starting to pick it up just a bit. And 4 or 5 back to the trailer Phobia. Down the backstretch, there goes Cannonball now, right up next to Key Victory. The half was 49 2/5 seconds. The pace very slow to develop. Here's Dock and Roll now with an aggressive move toward the lead, and Dock and Roll's grabbed that lead. Dock and Roll in front narrowly. Key Victory second on the inside. Cannonball now back running in third as the tempo increases quickly. Then Gold Vendetta running fourth by another 2.5 lengths. On the inside, Express to the West, and on the outside, Brookhaven's Money, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Key Victory, Dock and Roll head-to-head for the lead now. Dock and Roll grabs a short lead. Key Victory is fighting on. Gold Vendetta third. Cannonball still with a fighting chance on the outside, but Dock and Roll kicks clear. Dock and Roll kicks clear and opens up a 2-length lead late. A final surge coming from Gold Vendetta. Then Cannonball, and they're coming down to the wire. Dock and roll. Holds on. Gold Vendetta geared up late, got beat by a long neck. It was close for third there between Cannonball and Express to the West.
And it was Dock and Roll scoring the victory over a rare Saratoga turf course labeled Firm. He picks up the win from just off the pace as Gold Vendetta rallies well to finish second. Cannonball, the favorite in the field, a little bit rank in the early going, settling for third. The winner, Dock and Roll, a dark bay or brown son of Wheelaway from Georgie's Doctor by Barraquois, was bred in New York by McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds and is owned by the Sakatoga Stable. Trained by Barclay Tagg and ridden to victory by Ibarcoa, Dock and Roll covers the mile and a 16th on the Firm turf in 143.69. We'll head into the Thursday card now, and the day started off with a stakes race in race number 1 over the jumps in the AP Smithick, a grade 2 stakes race graded by the National Steeplechase Association. Will join the Smithick in progress.
So the leader here is Salford City. Salford City up and over the second fence, and Guelph runs along second. Followed by Dark Equation racing in third position, then Manif. Then on the outside, it's Spy in the Sky, who's now in fifth. Then Duke of Earl, followed by High Action, and the early trailer is Orpington as they make their way quite leisurely around the first turn. Salford City tracked intently by the mare Guelph. Here's Salford City heading for that third fence. Salford City leading clearly. Up and over nicely. Guelph was over well too. And then it's a break now. 4 lengths back to Dark Equation running in third. And then Manif, then Spy in the Sky in High Action. Duke of Earl at the back of the pack with Orpington. Heading now for the far turn. It is still Salford City and Guelph, 1-2 throughout. Still that way with Dark Equation continuing on in third. High Action well relaxed while fourth. And then it's Manif now coming through on the inside of Spy in the Sky. The back markers remain Duke of Earl and Orpington. So Salford City continues to be the pacemaker here. Guelph has been second throughout and in no real hurry to make the lead. Then farther back, Dark Equation continues on in third, followed by High Action, then down inside Manif. Salford City up and over nicely. Guelph took that jump very well. And then it's Dark Equation running along in third, followed by High Action fourth. So there is one circuit remaining, and the positions have virtually not changed the entire trip so far. It's been Salford City and Guelph. Salford City, Guelph, 1-2 once again over the jump. Dark Equation continues on while racing in third position. Then High Action, Spy in the Sky, Manif. The back markers are still Duke of Earl and Orpington. Into the backstretch run. The final time now at Salford City, the leader. Guelph right there on his heels running second. Closer still is Dark Equation in third. So here's Salford City now, approaching the fence. Up and over. Guelph again took it well. And now Guelph has moved ever closer as they continue down the backstretch run. Now they're coming to that final backstretch fence. Here's Salford City. Up and over. Guelph continues to gain every time they go over a jump. Then it's Dark Equation running third on the inside of High Action, fourth by 5. Then Spy in the Sky and another 5 yet. Back to Duke of Earl is getting underway and a lot to do for him. And around the far turn, Salford City, Guelph. Here's Dark Equation, who is now second. Guelph is tailing off back in third. High Action is fourth. Spy in the Sky is fifth as the field turns for home. Salford City trying to take this field wire to wire in the AP Smithwick. There's one fence to go. High Action is a bold run down toward the inside. Here comes High Action. High Action now, who strikes the lead 100 yards from home. Salford City and Dark Equation, and on the wire, it's High Action. Comes rocketing through the stretch to win it by a length over Dark Equation. Salford City was third, and Spy in the Sky was fourth.
High Action rallying up the inside under Patty Young to score by 1.5 lengths over stablemate Dark Equation, who rallied well from mid-pack. Salford City, the early pacemaker, holds on to third. The winner, High Action, is a chestnut gelding, a son of theatrical from Secret Imperatrice by Secretariat, was bred in Kentucky by Harold Harrison, owned by Carl D. Barnes and trained by Doug Fout, ridden to victory by Patty Young. High Action completes the AP Smithick in 3:52.45. We'll continue with stakes racing action from Thursday as the New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty division for New York sired fillies and mares was washed off the turf onto the main track. Let's head back to last Thursday in the Statue of Liberty.
And they're off. Stutter step start for Raffy's Treasure. Western Slang racing to the lead. In between horses, Study Abroad and Omadon's Frenzy at the inside. Raffy's Treasure right up there now with them after that slow beginning. And Raffy's Treasure is aggressively racing to the lead. So last to first in a blink of an eye for Raffy's Treasure. Study Abroad is in between horses. Western Sling on the outside, Omadon's Frenzy. Talbot Shopper, Jean-Luc Samine, takes a good hold of her to let the others do the work up front after a quarter in 24 2/5 seconds. So down the backstretch run, Raffy's Treasure, light pressure from Western Slang. Just in behind, Study Abroad runs along in third. Omadon's Frenzy, Talbot Shopper still on hold. Down the backstretch run. Raffy's Treasure now uncontested lead. Raffy's Treasure through a half mile, 49 seconds flat in the slop. Study Abroad just on the inside of Western Slang. Omadon's Frenzy now asks for a bit to stay within 3 lengths of the lead. Talbot Shopper, the trailer at the half-mile pole. Raffy's Treasure still in control around the far turn. Indeed lets it out a notch to lead by 2. Study Abroad is on the chase now. Full out and running second. Omadon's Frenzy moves to third. Talbot Shopper is fourth. And Western Slang has plummeted to last as they move toward the top of the stretch. 3 quarters in 14 2. It's still Raffy's Treasure, the leader. Raffy's Treasure into the stretch, clear by almost 2 lengths. On the outside, Study Abroad. Omadon's Frenzy at the rail. Top of the stretch now. And DeSormo really getting to work on Raffy's Treasure. And they have something left for the final furlong. Raffy's Treasure giving them the slip. Study Abroad and Omadon's Frenzy. A rocky start, but she rolled at the finish. Raffy's Treasure geared down at the end to win by 8 or 9 lengths. Study Abroad was second. Omadon's Frenzy was third.
Raffy's Treasure getting to the front after a stumbling start and never looking back, kicking clear to win by almost 10 lengths at 6-1 over Study Abroad, the favorite in this off-the-turf running of the Statue of Liberty, with Omadon's Frenzy completing the top 3. Despite that stumbling start, Raffy's Treasure had the lead by the time they headed up the backstretch and never looked back. Raffy's Treasure is a 3-year-old daughter of Raffy's Majesty from Treasure Always by Summer Squall. Bred in New York by the Majesty Stud Limited and owned by the breeder. Trained by Dominic Galuccio and ridden to victory by Kent DeSormo. Over a sealed, sloppy track, Raffy's Treasure completes the 9 furlongs in 1:53.48. We'll continue with Saratoga Stakes racing action now as we head into the weekend. Unfortunately, we had a washout on the stakes race on Friday afternoon. The Weah hopefully will be recarded later on in the meeting. In the meantime, we've got New York Breds on Sunday, beginning with fillies and mares in the Yaddo.
And they're off. Latitude 40 and Factual Contender go out for the early lead. And it's Factual Contender who will take over now from Latitude 40. You Go West Girl down on the inside is third, with Rewrite alongside in fourth, and Junkanoo Party. And they come under the line for the first time with Factual Contender opening up a 3.5 length lead. Latitude 40 is second by 2. You Go West Girl and Rewrite right together third and fourth, with Junkanoo Party still trailing. The opening quarter over the yielding turf in 25 1/5 seconds. And Factual Contender is in front here as they head for the backstretch. Factual Contender in front by 7 lengths. Latitude 40 runs in second. And now Rewrite moves into third. You Go West Girl down on the inside, and Junkanoo Party The opening half went in 50 seconds. They're midway up the backstretch, and Factual Contender is in front by 10 lengths. Latitude 40 is second by 2. Rewrite, You Go West Girl, together third and fourth, and Junkanoo Party still at the back of the pack in fifth. Factual Contender maintaining that big lead as they head around the far turn. 3/4 went in 1:14 and 4. It's Factual Contender in front. The lead now 7 lengths. Latitude 40 is racing in second with Rewrite in third. They're at the head of the stretch. Factual Contender, the lead's down to 4 lengths now. Here's Latitude 40 on the outside. Rewrite in with a chance in third. An eighth of a mile to the finish. They have caught and they have passed Factual Contender. It's Latitude 40 in front. You Go West Girl is making a late run. Latitude 40 in front. You Go West Girl second. They come for the line. Latitude 40. You Go West Girl. Latitude 40 by a head. You Go West Girl second. Another photo for third between Rewrite and Factual Contender.
And it was Latitude 40 picking up a little bit of an upset at 4-1, sitting just off the early pace and prevailing to pick up the win from You Go West Girl, who rallied strongly to finish in the second spot. Rewrite, the favorite in the short field of 5, completes the order of the top 3. The winner, Latitude 40, a dark bay or brown daughter of Chester House, out of Planchette by Buck Point, was bred in New York by Paul Hoffman and Doneen Honnold, owned by the DZ Stable and trained by John Hertler. Ridden to victory by Javier Castellano, Latitude 40 covers the mile and the mile and an eighth on that yielding inner turf in 155.16. We'll continue with more New York breds, older colts and geldings in the running of Sunday's West Point.
And they're off. A good beginning for Mission Approved and Gimme Credit. Those two go out for the lead. Banrock came away in third. Extra Zip down on the inside in fourth. My Man Lars is fifth. Al Basher on the outside in sixth. The break of 4 lengths to Classic Pack, who's next to last, and Foreverness is the trailer in eighth as they move around the clubhouse turn. And it is Mission Approved in front by a length. Gimme Credit is second, Extra Zip on the inside, and Banrock the opening quarter in 25 and 1/5 seconds over the soft Melon Turf course. Now they're on the backstretch. Mission Approved, a narrow lead over Gimme Credit. Banrock just in behind in third, with Extra Zip saving that ground down at the rail in fourth. My Man Lars and Al Basher right together, fifth and sixth, the 4-length break to Foreverness and Classic Pack. The half mile in 50 and 2/5 seconds. Mission Approved on the inside leads by a half length. Gimme Credit on the outside is second by a length and a half. Banrock is third. Extra Zip remains in fourth. Then My Man Lars, Al Basha about 5 lengths from the lead. Foreverness and Classic Pack still at the back of the pack. Mission Approved continues to lead here by a neck. Gimme Credit is second. There goes Banrock in third as the field comes for the top of the stretch. Gimme Credit in between horses. Mission Approved on the inside and Banrock on the outside. Al Basha now moves to fourth. Then My Man Lars, Classic Pack on the extreme outside. Banrock has come away with the lead. It's Banrock in front. Then Gimme Credit, My Man Lars, and Classic Pack. It's Banrock to win the West Point Handicap. Close for second between Classic Pack and My Man Lars. Gimme Credit was fourth.
Banrock, who's done so well on softer turf in the past, gets the victory here on a soft turf course by 2 lengths over Longshot Classic Pack. Classic Pack's recent form hadn't been that sharp, but he sure does love Saratoga, having pulled off an upset in the Stallion Series at the age of 3. My Man Lars at 18-1 rallies to complete the top 3. The winner, Banrock, is a bay-gelded son of Gopher Gin from It's a Gherkin by Enswell. Bred in New York by Kathleen O'Connell and the Nyala Farm, and owned by Nyala Farm, trained by Tommy Bush, and ridden to victory by Kent DeSormo. Banrock covers the 9 furlongs on a turf course labeled soft in 151.41. That'll wrap up a busy edition of Horses and Courses. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week as we take a look at stakes racing action from around the country. Until then, I'm Jean Wood. Have a great week at the races.